thing that I'm doing in my life and kind of an interesting business. So I'm on this app called Intro. Are you using Intro?
I don't use it, no, but let's explain what it is. It's basically like you call an expert for an hour and you pay for the time and you do like a 15 or 30-minute call with them.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's that, and that's not the point of the story, but that's all it is. It's just you pay money to talk to people. It's consulting, and my buddy started it, so he asked me to do it. So I said, yeah, fine, I'll sign up, whatever. So when you and I were in Miami, this man and woman, this husband and wife, came up to me and like started talking to me about hypnotherapy because they knew that I was afraid to fly. I have a pretty hardcore claustrophobic thing. I don't take subways. I don't fly. And I also have an addictive personality and I love sugar. And so they like knew that and they were trying to pitch me and they on like using their services and they kept emailing me and I ignore everyone. I don't reply to email really. And eventually they book a intro call with me and I charge like, I put it at like $2,000 an hour and they're like, hey, you never answer our emails. And to be honest, when I met them, I did, we do the nice thing when we meet people. Oh yeah, this sounds great. Like, maybe I'll do it sometime. Like you're just trying to be polite. And I
let's
said,
find a time.
Yeah, let's find a time. And
let's run away from potentially talking to each other.
Yeah, and they booked a call with me, and they goes, "You said you're going to do it. We can't get you down, so we're just going to pay you money right now, and we're going to sit down and do what's it called? What do you call it? Hypnosis? I guess a hypnosis session." And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that's about, but I do it, and it kind of has changed the game for me. And so
what?
Yes, and I'll explain to you what I keep getting the words screwed up. Hypnotherapy. What is it called? Hypnosis. This woman, so she has an app. Her name is Grace. I think getgrace.com is like her app. And then I don't know, I think like grace.tv. If you go to getgrace.com, I'm sure you'll see all about her. Her name's Grace. And she told me, she's like, look, here's the deal. A handful of executives pay me $1 million a year to be their personal hypnotist. I'm not going to pay you that, or I'm not going to charge you that. But if you like it, you have to tell people about it. I said, whatever, fine. But I'm not paying you $1 million. She's like, that's fine. But you just let me give you 5 sessions. And if it changes you, let me know if you want to talk about it. And so I do this thing. It's totally worked. So basically what it is how you do breath work and meditation? You just like kind of like sit down and get quiet and like you hear like a voice in your head, like maybe it's your headphones. It's Andy from Headspace. And he says like, all right, imagine like the sun is pouring on your mind or on your brain and it's leaking down to your body and causing you to like relax and you're filling with like relaxation, whatever. You basically do that. But then she talks to you while you're in that state, that meditative state. And she says things like, imagine yourself on a beach in your safe space and imagine like there's 4-year-old you and you're explaining to him how you're trying to overcome like, the sugar addiction or whatever the thing you're trying to overcome. And so, and tell me what you say to that person. So you're basically just like, you're getting spoken to and you're sometimes speaking back in a meditative state. Not like that interesting. When I did it, I was like, oh, like I thought I was going to be in a trance. But for some reason, this has been wildly effective. I think it could be placebo. I think it could not be, but I don't care. I haven't had sugar in like 3 weeks since I started this. And I like am like kind of an addict with that stuff. And it's like to the point where I get sick if I think about it. It's been crazy fascinating. And she gets all these people to pay her $1 million a year. Is that craziest?
Real though? Who's paying her? Did she name names? Who's paying her $1 million a year? That sounds a little far-fetched.
It does sound a bit far-fetched. On her website is the founder of Clearco. Clearco, what are they called? They're called like Clearbank or something. Yeah,
they were.
That guy is one of her testimonials, and then she told me other people who I actually don't know if I'm allowed to say who those other people are. Oh yeah, so
that's fine.
Great.
That's fine. But do you believe
her website? Yeah, her website is gracesmithtv.com, and on there you could see testimonials from people. So she be like kind of pulling my leg? Yeah, I mean, I didn't like look at her financials. Yes, 100%. But I don't know who. I mean, would someone lie about that?
She looks way different. For some reason, I imagined her to be like 70, but she's not. She's very young. So Grace Smith is the world's leading hypnotherapist. It is a 7-figure investment to work with Grace. Wow, that's amazing. You can work with her team for less or download the Grace app for free. Okay, Grace app for free. That sounds promising. All right, so the founder of Clearbank. Wow, she's been on whatever Something
TV
that looks
shows
like
and
Jimmy
shit.
Kimmel, but it's like
Yes.
not. It's called The Noit con Danilo Gentili. It's like
Oh,
Italian.
it's the Brazilian version. It's the Brazilian
Okay.
version of Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah.
So yours was around sugar or was around fear of
sugar.
flight?
We're gonna address the flying thing later, but I was gonna try and do sugar, and it's actually been effective. I'm shocked to say it's been effective.
That's kind of crazy. I like it, and it makes me want to do it, which I think is probably pretty common.
She told me to tell you that you can do it for free too if you want.
Oh, okay, great. How do I get over my? What do I even have? I don't have as many.
Yeah,
like,
the
things
problem
as you
is
do.
that you're like emotionally healthy, so I don't know if you have issues.
Get over this happiness thing I got
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, so I don't know if like it's gonna impact you. I don't know, like if you have any diet.
No,
or
but yeah, it could be food. It could be food related. Like, do I really want that cheese pizza? Maybe I'll just never eat a cheese pizza again after I talk to Grace. That could be kind of nice.
It's just kind of interesting, but it could be a thing where it's like, man, I gotta meet with this woman every week, and like if I tell her that I ate sugar, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. So I mean, that could be it. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of
Well, I
interesting.
started using that my body tutor after you had mentioned it on the podcast. So like,
Did you really?
They definitely had a bump. I signed up. I paid for it. So I was like, all right, let's try this out.
It's
Been using
legit,
it
right?
now for multiple weeks. It's super legit. I mean, it's like there's no like hocus pocus. It's like just straight up. Here's a kind of like a coach who's a nutritionist who's like gonna really help you. So I have this woman Haley helping me. I don't know if she's the same one you have.
I have Heather.
Okay, so I don't know about Heather, but Haley's amazing. And so and a lot of it's just like the basic psychology of accountability, right? Like I tell her I'm gonna do something, and I take a photo of every meal, and I have to think to myself, am I going to either A, be a big fat liar and just not take a picture of this, like, bag of Cheez-Its that I'm about to eat? Or am I going to take a picture of it and be like, yeah, I know I told you I was going to eat good, and then I just ate bad, even though clearly I could have just not eaten bad. And so it's helped so much to clear up, like, just like, I don't know, let's call it 30% or 40% of just random bullshit mistakes that I would have been making. Plus, then there's the strategy. Like, okay, she gave me this thing. I'll share a specific example. So like, she told me this thing. She goes, all right. I snapped a picture of a meal I ate. She goes like, whoa, big meal. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. She's got, her job is to kind of judge my meals, right? Okay, fair. And she's like, do me a favor. Before you eat, I want you to just, on a scale of 1 to 5, just take note, just like at the beginning here. I'm not going to change anything in your diet, but just observe, how hungry were you when you started the meal? Like if 1 is absolutely starving and 5 is absolutely stuffed, like were you starving when you decided to eat, or were you like a 2 or a 3 on the hunger scale? And then when you were done, were you like, oh, I'm so stuffed, I need a nap? Or are you like, okay, I'm full, I'm done? And she's like, don't change anything. Just like give yourself a number before and after every meal. So I started doing it, and I was like, so what do I want? Like, start at a 2 and end at a 4? She's like, no, you kind of want to start at a 3 and end at a 3. Like, you basically want to be like, okay, it's been about 3 hours. I think I'll eat now. I think I could eat. I don't have to eat, but I could definitely eat right now.
Because you're creating like patterns and being consistent.
And when I'm done eating, it's like, I don't stop eating when I can't physically eat anymore. I stop eating because like, cool, like I've had enough of my meal and I can move on. I know that there's going to be more food in a couple hours. I don't need to like, stuff myself to the brim here. And so literally these like very small like nuances. So I had noticed, oh man, I really do tend to eat bad when I get to a 1, because then I'm just like, I'm redlining. I just like, my decision making is very poor there. So I'm like, normally if I like eat at a 2 and I finish at a 3, I'm like very proud of like all those meals. So little things like that, or, certain like, hey, I was like, give me a grocery list. I'm going to Whole Foods. Just give me a grocery list, and I'm just going to buy only that shit. So I only have that to eat at home. Like, let's make this simple. And so she gave me like an exact grocery list, and I went and bought all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this is great. So
It's an amazing
really
service.
helpful.
Yeah, my coach was like, anytime you want to snack, because I would like snack a lot, she was like, get a baked potato, put a paper towel over it, and rinse get it wet, and just put it in the microwave for 5 minutes and just eat that. And I started eating that. I'm like, oh, this is delicious. This tastes wonderful. And it's only 150 calories. So like, I was like, what the fuck is a sweet potato? I didn't know what a sweet potato was. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's what you call your girlfriend when you're in high school.
Yeah. It's like Dave Chappelle when they do Switching Spouses, when the black guy goes with the white family and he goes, what the fuck is a parsnip? Like, he doesn't know what a parsnip is. I was like, I don't know what a fucking sweet potato is. Who's
like,
Renee Zellweger? That's what he says. Yeah, and so anyway, it's been a good service. I like my body tour. It's good.
Me too. This is not an ad. We're not paid to do it. I genuinely like the product, and it's helping me.
Also, it's like $700 a month, and I don't want to spend that anymore. But I said the only way I'm quitting is when I hit.
It's like 200, 250, something like that.
I do the thing where they call you every single day.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so they call me every morning, and I can't cheat because my wife and like family knows that I'm doing it, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna tell Heather that you just ate that?" I'm like, "Oh,
well, that was the biggest thing. I had to make a decision. Is this 100% honesty, or is this 90% honesty, or 60% honesty? Like, there are levels to this whole honesty thing, and so I was like, all right. I decided if I'm going to spend this money, I gotta do 100% honesty. I don't know this person. I've never met this person. Like, she's going to be my little confidant of every single thing I eat in the exact thing. Like, yeah, I did just put ranch on my potato. Like, yeah, that happened, like I can't explain it. I just did it. And so I'm like, I got to take the actual photo of the actual thing every single time, no matter what. And I think that also the commitment to actually doing it right is what actually makes you get a good result from things.